Hi everybody, I'm Jim Stevens, along with Brad Anderson. Happy to be on hand here in Minnesota for the 2007 Minnesota State Championships. There you see local boy Dave Gummeson, the 2006 World Open Doubles Champion. There you see former World Singles Champion Tony Spredeman out of Cudahy, Wisconsin. We are underway here on table number one. It's a semifinal match. It's 1-0 here in game one in favor of Dave Gummeson.
Wow, we've got two very contrasting styles here today. Tony playing that up-tempo power game. Dave, the veteran, he's got to play with his wits and play with his smarts here.
Yeah, the talent certainly would lean towards the right side of the table. That's Tony Spredeman, one of the most talented players in the world. Dave Gummeson, as you mentioned, Brad Anderson, gets by with his guile, with his smarts, and with a high-quality style of execution, both on the 5, the 3, and, of course, a good shooting goalie as well.
Right.
Here's Spredeman now with a chance to tie up game number one as he walks the ball around and looks for the hole. Fires it to that near side. It's 1-1.
And it is good to see Tony back on the table. Like I say, he's been away for a little while. But yeah, you talk about Dave Gummeson, very, very disciplined player. I don't think you're going to find a more disciplined player. But he's got to work his work cut out for him.
He does. Well, he needs to take advantage of every opportunity on that 3-row, certainly. And going to need to work hard defensively as well. Keep that ball off the 3-row of Tony Spredeman if possible. Of course, Tony was one of the great 5s in the world, one of the most unique 5s in the world. Of course, Dave Gummeson also considered in that upper crust of 5-row passers.
I would say these two guys right here are the guys that I would consider playing power games. They have a power game on the 5-bar.
Gummeson doesn't execute. It bounces to the 5 of Tony Spredeman.
I would have said Billy. I wouldn't normally include Billy Pappas in there, but he's using a chip series almost as much as he would using the lane wall series.
Yeah, these two guys both hit the ball very hard. Spredeman's going to step away and call timeout. Tony Spredeman puts the ball back into play. It's 1-1 here in game one. The winner advances to the winner's bracket final to face Justin Shaw, who defeated Terry Moore. He also defeated Steve Mosey, also defeated Brandon Moreland. 3 of the big favorites here this weekend, and Justin Shaw has survived that side of the bracket to reach the winner's bracket final. That's the big story so far, I think.
You know what the most shocking part of that is he helped set up the tables and humping these 300 and some odd pound tables all over the place. Normally that'll do really awful things to your arm, and he's playing really well.
Well, he's a good player, and he certainly, as you mentioned, does work all the big events around the country. That one rattles into the goal. It's 2-1. Does work setup, but also a good player and getting a lot of experience, and obviously an improving player.
Yeah, and Justin uses a bit of an unconventional game a lot of times. We'll get to see that coming up.
And Spredeman with his unconventional style of 5-row, and we'll talk more about that, but there's Gummeson to make the block. Dave now moving back into offensive posture in that goalie position, setting it up on the 2-row. He's got a good one. Basically, he shoots from that 2-row much like he does from that 3-row. He slices this one into that straight hole, if you will. It's 3-1 in favor of Dave Gummeson. Dave out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota. About 10 miles to the east of where we are, and back comes Spredeman down the middle. Beautiful shot as he faked it to that far side, came back down the middle. It's 3-2.
And Dave's been hitting the practice table pretty hard lately. He's World Championships coming up. He'd certainly like to repeat, but he knows that, boy, the way Tracy McMillan's been playing lately, Dave knows he has to play his best.
Yeah, he does. Of course, Dave and Tracy won the world title, the Tornado World title, last year in Las Vegas. You mentioned Tracy McMillan playing well this year. He certainly has been doing that. Here's Dave Gummeson now, putting the ball back into play. Gummy looking for a 4-2 lead here in game one. From pull shot position, Gummeson fires it down the middle there. Spredeman to make the block. Mentioned Tracy McMillan, who's been playing so well these last couple of years. Certainly the last 10 months, he's won 3 major titles with 3 different partners. He won in Texas this year with Robert Mares, won in Kentucky a month ago or so with young Ryan Moore, and there is Tony Spredeman coming back with that left hook effort on that 5-row, and suddenly it's 3-3.
Of course, we saw Tony earlier with his piece of sandpaper.
Tony was sanding them in, and there's a nice pickup. He shot it down the table and banked off that back wall right to the 3-row of Spredeman, who's got a chance to take the lead. Tony fires it home to that far side. So 3 straight points from Cudahy, Wisconsin's Tony Spredeman have propelled him into a 4-3 lead here in game number 1.
Yeah, it looked like Dave Gummeson was really going to be able to pick up the first game relatively easy. He had a shot to go up 4-2. Again, we always talk about those transition points in the game.
And Dave now with a big shot here in game 1. Quick shot attempt taken away by Spredeman. Tony now, quick pass from the 2-rod to the 3-rod. Beautiful play by Tony Spredeman, who's got a chance to put away game number 1 right here. He trailed 3-1 here in this first game. Tried to come to the near side, blocked all the way down the table. A little bit of movement there, no call. Rolls to the 5 of Spredeman. Tony into the tic-tac. Nobody can perform this series the way Tony Spredeman does, and Tony's going to call a timeout. Spredeman, possession on the 5-row, touches 2 men, putting the ball back into play.
In fact, we were watching these 2 guys play some pickup games last night on one of the other tables here, and Dave Gummeson, he shakes his head watching the things that Tony can do on a table.
And Dave kept that one out of the goal, but it rattles in. He hustled after it. Unfortunately for Dave, game number 1 goes to Tony Spredeman. He leads 1-0. Gummeson has jumped ahead 3-1 in that first game, only to see Tony Spredeman come back with 4 straight points to steal that first game. Tony flips it over, brings it across, strokes it into the goal. That was original. It's 1-0.
He brings so many weapons to the table. It's scary.
What a play by Spredeman. Quick pass to the 5-row. Tony now moves into that offensive position. He's freestyling now, folks.
Tony's probably one of the most entertaining players to watch when he's playing in a flow and really playing at a relaxed pace. I mean, for him, relaxed means just going everything full out.
Letting it go. And
right.
He certainly is a very aggressive player, but you're exactly right. When he's just feeling free, when he's not afraid to do anything, he does some extraordinary things. Gummeson fires that one on goal. Back comes Spredeman. Dave trying to keep up with Tony. Tony just a half a step ahead of him right now.
And probably not the best thing to do.
Dave will probably slow the pace down here. He did try that quick shot in that first game to tie it up at 4 apiece. Tony took it away and eventually scored it. Dave now will set it up, stroke it home. It's 1-1. That's what he needs to do.
And you can see right now, I mean, Tony's just playing the faster pace. He's playing quicker. Dave, as we said, he's a very, very disciplined player. When he has the ball, he executes generally. But it's the transitions that he's just having trouble keeping up.
And Spredeman again firing that one home. He's back on top 2-1 here in the second game. Dave Gummeson possession on the 5, able to brush it through the lane. And Dave needs to stay with Tony right here. He needs to put something in the goal right here. Doesn't execute. Nice grab on the rebound by Gummeson. Dave again will set it up in pull shot position. And again, Spredeman there defensively, and Spredeman jumps into that forward position to grab it. He'll set it up looking for a 2-goal lead. Tony walks the ball around, then strokes it home deep to that near corner. It's 3-1. Tony Spredeman in control here on table number 1. He has scored 7 of the last 8 points. Gummeson coming back. A big shot here in the fortunes of Dave Gummeson. Dave doesn't execute the shot, sprays it wide. Quick effort by Tony Spredeman. He had that ball in his 5-row before Dave Gummeson was over, missing that previous shot.
Yeah, if you relax for a fraction of a second, Tony's going to take advantage of it.
Quick shot attempt. Gummeson was there defensively. It hops up into the air. That one rolls forward to the 5 of Cudahy, Wisconsin's Tony Spredeman. 2003 World Singles Champion. Tony burst on the scene 4 or 5 years ago. Of course, the previous year he had won all those semi-pro and rookie titles. Came back the next year, reached the finals in open singles, losing to Frederic Collignon, and then came back and won it the next year, beating Lewis Cartwright in the finals.
Truly a meteoric rise through the ranks.
Gummeson shot attempt. There's Spredeman to double team it and take it away. The rebound comes back to Dave. And Gummeson able to stroke home that pull shot. A big shot right there from Dave. It's 3-2.
It's going to be fun to see this weekend. Tomorrow night, this is Saturday, by the way. Tomorrow night, we have some foosball musical entertainment. A few people are going to be playing. Deb Flipson is going to be having her band here. Dave Gummeson's son, a very musically talented young man, is going to be performing.
Nice.
And hopefully we'll have some footage on this DVD of Mr. Gary Pollock coming out of the past to do some of his old foosball songs.
And Spredeman walks it around, fires it home. It's 4-2. Well, let's make a point of getting some of that footage.
Absolutely. The troubadour of tournament soccer.
So Dave Gummeson jumped ahead 3-1 in game number 1. Since then, it has been 8-2 in favor of Tony Spredeman. And Gummeson able to convert. It's now 4-3.
Yeah, but he's still playing catch-up, unfortunately.
Tough to do against a player the quality of Tony Spredeman. Tony through the lane. What a beautiful 5-row he has. It is truly a work of art. Tried to go to that far side. Gummeson with a block up into the air and off the table. Dave will put it back into play in his goal area. And Dave not out of this game yet.
No, he's not. I mean, he's got the problem is he needs 2 goals in a row. Again,
and
he's
there's one as he fires that one to the short side, squaring off, cutting back that pull shot to that short hole. Suddenly it's 4-4.
You know, you can't be playing catch-up the entire time.
Spredeman tried to pass it down the middle. He's had success with that so far. This one blocked away, comes back to him. Tony once again. Along that outside wall. Spredeman now looking to win game number 2. Tony walks it around. And calls timeout. Tony Spredeman will put the ball back into play. Spredeman will look for a 2-0 lead. Walking it around, Spredeman fires it home to the near side. So Tony Spredeman, continuing to play well, has surged ahead over Dave Gummeson, 2-0. So here we are, Jim Stevens and Brad Anderson with you here on table number 1 as we get game number 3 underway of this semifinal match in the winner's bracket. It's Tony Spredeman on the right, it's Dave Gummeson on the left, and it's 2-0 in favor of Tony Spredeman. Gummeson jumped ahead early in game 1, leading 3-1, but Spredeman caught fire in that first game, came back to win it, and came out and won game number 2, 5-4, as we open up game number 3. Gummeson, possession on that 5-row, able to go through the lane successfully. Dave will set it up in that world-famous pull shot position with a chance to get on the scoreboard first here in game 3. Gummeson sitting still, a standard defense shown by Tony Spredeman. Dave taking his time, trying to stroke that long, blocked by Spredeman. The rebound bounces back to the 3-row of Dave Gummeson. Again, Dave fires home that long pull shot. It's 1-0.
It was fun to watch interesting to watch the expression on Dave Gummeson's face as Tony scored the last point of the last game. Just Dave had a big grin on his face, kind of looked towards the ceiling. It was like, I knew this was going to happen.
A left hook attempt by Spredeman is on goal, but it's blocked by Gummeson and rebounded by Dave, who sets it up just outside or just inside that far goal line in pull shot position. Pull kick attempt is on goal, blocked, swept out of the way by Spredeman, but it rolls to the 3-rod of Dave Gummeson, who's got a chance to go up 2-0 right here. Setting it up in pull shot position is Coon Rapids, Minnesota's Dave Gummeson. Dave taking his time, looking for the hole. Try to go down the middle, blocked by Spredeman. Gummeson can't hold on to it. It squirts back to Dave on the 5-row. Gummeson, that famous lane wall series hesitation wall pass, nicely executed. Again, Gummeson now dominating play, at least in the forward position, getting more opportunities, and that's what he needs to do. And he finds that hole down the middle, squaring off that pull shot. It's 2-0 here in game number 3, just what Gummeson needed, Brad Anderson.
Yeah, Dave's come out quite a bit more focused this game. He knows what he has to do.
Another left hook attempt by Spredeman. Rolls to the 3-rod of Gummeson once again. An opportunity here for Dave to surge ahead 3-0 here in this third game. Gummeson setting it up once again in pull shot position. And finds the straight hole this time. So Gummeson has come out hot here in game 3. He's up 3-0 here in game 3. But back comes Spredeman passing it along that outside wall. Tony now setting it up in push shot position. Something we know he can do, but he sprays this one wide of the goal. Rebounded by the 5-row of Dave Gummeson. We've seen Tony Spredeman use that push shot. He's got a good one, both from goalie and forward. This one sprayed wide. Gummeson grabs it on his 3 and sets it up again in pull shot position. Dave's had a lot of opportunities here in game 3. He's shooting the ball well here in this third game. He finds that squared off split down the middle. It's 4-0.
The key is he's taken advantage of those opportunities, where previous games he wasn't finishing off those chances.
What a pass, what a shot by Spredeman. He tic-tacked between all 5 men on his 5-row, then passed it from the 1-man to the 2-man, and then down the middle to his middleman on the 3-row, quickly set it up and stroked it home to the near side. Unbelievable play.
Didn't he actually flip the rod over before he shot?
I think he did.
I'll have to look back at that one.
What an unbelievable play by Spredeman. Unfortunately for Tony, it only makes it 4-1, and Gummeson now comes right back, passing it through, setting it up in pull shot position with a chance to close out game number 3, and he does, finding that straight hole. It's 2-1. So Dave Gummeson now back in the match. Now trailing 2-1 as Tony Spredeman puts the ball into play. We open up game number 4. Spredeman won the first game. Gummeson came back to win the next 2. Nice pass through the lane by Tony Spredeman, of course, a practitioner of that opposite wall passing style, and he fires this one to the opposite side of the goal. It's 1-0. Tony set it up and then hammered it to that far corner. Dave Gummeson. Possession on the 5-row, tried to go through the lane, blocked by Spredeman, comes back to Gummeson's 5. Gummeson tried to rattle a pass through, it's grabbed by Spredeman. Tony now using the left hand on the 5-row. Will look to pass it, rather the 2-row, looking to pass it 2-row to 5-row. He does so, brushing it towards the middle of that 5-row. He hauls it in. He'll now move into forward position. Tony into that opposite wall, tic-tac hard along that outside wall. He'll set it up in front pin position as he works the ball up the table. Looking for a 2-0 lead. Spredeman tried to come to the near side, blocked by Gummeson. Dave using his right hand on the 5-row, able to reel it in. Gummeson moves into that forward position, hammers that lane pass through, catching it on his 3-row. A chance here for Dave to tie it up at 1 apiece. A big shot here in the fortunes of Dave Gummeson. From pull shot position, Gummeson shooting against Spredeman. Try to go down the middle, knocked down by Tony. It rolls to a dead stop between the 2-row and the 3-row, which means Tony Spredeman will put the ball back into play. Tony again using the left hand on the 2-row. Look to advance it 2-row to 5. Instead, he tries a shot attempt, I believe, and it's stolen away by Dave Gummeson.
That's a lethal weapon, though, that Tony Spredeman has back there, shooting that with that left hand.
Especially when he uses it about once or twice a match when you don't expect it. He didn't execute it here. Gummeson was there defensively, but Dave cannot score it from his 3-row. Spredeman takes it away and grabs it on his 5, quickly passing it along that outside wall. Tony now will set it up in front pin position, looking for a 2-0 lead. Spredeman walking it around, tried to go to the far side, blocked up into the air and off the table, so Gummeson earns the ball in the goalie area.
One thing that we've seen Tony working on this weekend is using that short lane wall series a la Billy Pappas, only doing it on the far wall.
Yeah.
He does it well.
Or he sets it still almost.
Absolutely.
And tries it again along that wall. He has such a natural stroke, 5-row to 3-row along that outside wall. Tried to come to the near side off that 3-row, somehow able to reel in the rebound. Spredeman again, getting the opportunities here in game 4. So far, though, I believe only shooting 3 for 4, make it 4 for 5, or rather 1 for 4, 2 for 5, as he hammers that one home.
Well, he's been shooting.
Where's my abacus?
I don't know.
What is an abacus anyway? It's 2-0 here in game number 4.
It's kind of hoarse, isn't it?
Spredeman stole it away, then banks it off that back wall, tries a push shot, which turns into an outside bank from the 3-row. It's 3-0. So Dave Gummeson, after that great performance in game number 3, finds himself behind the 8 ball now, down 3-0 here in game 4. You can see the look of disappointment right now and frustration on the face of Dave Gummeson, who is not executing the way that we're used to seeing him do.
That last pass right there by Dave was just trying to get anything to work right now. This game is just not working well for him. Just trying a very, very simple brush down to the wall.
Dave does have possession of the ball in the goal area. Trailing 3-0, down 2-1, setting it up just inside that far goal line. Sprays that one wide. It's rebounded all the way off that back wall to the 3-rod of Tony Spredeman, who's got a chance to make it 4-0 here in game number 4. Tony setting it up in the middle with that big dot, rocks back and forth, then calls timeout. Spredeman puts the ball back into play. Tony from front pin position. Walks it around, fakes to the far side, comes back down the middle. The ball pops out of the goal, but what a beautiful shot by Tony Spredeman. It's match point. Gummeson hammers that pass through the lane. Trailing 4-0 here in game number 4. Dave Gummeson. Remember, the winner of this match advances to the winner's bracket final to face the Cinderella story of this event, certainly so far, Justin Shaw, who has pulled 3 big upsets to reach the winner's bracket final. Gummeson able to get on the board as he slices a pull shot into the goal. It's 4-1.
That's a mighty hill to try to climb here.
Tony Spredeman now possession on the 5-row. Tony getting creative with a couple of passes, both of them blocked. And he's able to rattle this one through. Tony Spredeman now with a chance to close out the match. Looking to advance to the winner's bracket final. Cudahy, Wisconsin's Tony Spredeman strokes it home to the far side. Tony Spredeman in 4 games defeats Dave Gummeson to advance to the winner's bracket.